Our emergency roadside services we'll have to do on our bike. Everybody knows tires. Sooner or later, you're gonna get a flat tire. Again, I've ridden mostly road. It took me 18 years before I got a flat, at least that I noticed. Somebody had to show me how to patch my flat. Who in here has tubeless tires? Those are a whole lot easier. You guys are lucky. If you've got them, keep a air compressor with you. Before you pull out that nail or whatever it is that you've got, what you need to do is hook up your air compressor and start it going in that tire. When you take that rope plug kit, if you pull out a big nail or a big rock or anything like that and you let that tire go flat, it's gonna be very hard to plug it with a rope plug if you're a flat tire. So keeping some air in that tire is gonna help out tremendously. I recommend, if it's a decent sized screw, going with 2 plugs to start with, not just 1. I had one tire that spit out 4 plugs. And I just kept replugging it, and it kept spitting a rope plug until I put 2 in there. In order to patch a tire, everybody knows you got to take the tire off. You've got to take half the tire off to get to your inner tube in there. That soapy water lubed back up onto that rim will save you from tearing up that tire. If you go in, or if you try to mount a tire dry, it will rip the bead seat off of that tire. Baby powder works. Baby powder onto your inner tube, but soapy water or something like that onto the rubber of your tire. When you do maintenance on these or replace your tubes, I typically will rub down that inner tube with baby powder before I put it in there, and that makes sure it doesn't tear the valve stem off or catch. I use, when I pack out for trips, if I'm taking this, say on a BDR, I have 2 of the small tire irons, and then I also have these Motion Pro aluminum bead breakers. These are good for drop setting the center of the tire while you go around. If you have a buddy, I typically don't ride alone on anything that could leave me stranded. These will help you seat that as well as brake a tire. Since we're on that same one, if you pull a tire off and you've got your buddy, Kishore's over here, his bike has never broken down because it's a KTM. My Suzuki has, I've gotten a flat tire in it. I can take my tire off, and some of these tires are really hard to get broken on that bead, especially on the bigger adventure tires. You might not even know you have a flat, they're that stiff. I can use somebody else's kickstand or center stand to break that bead on your tire, will help out tremendously. First, get the air out, that's kind of number 1. But these are the 3 things that I'll carry if I have room, and I'll show you. I might pack it in. This is a drop center tool. We're gonna give this away for our raffle here in a little while. If you've never used a drop center tool, they're a little bit big. Again, this would go on my Beamer. This will drop that front tire, these little 90s, down to the center. It's got a little compressor right here, just slips over that, and this will push the tire down to the very center. It makes spooning on a tire so much easier. There's other tips and tricks, but this one is the best thing to use. You put this on your opposite, you'll break your bead with these or somebody else's kickstand, and these will fit in. I'll show you on the other side, or maybe I can swing this. Don't fall. These will swing in, so this little notch will fit over your rim. This is gonna press down on your rim, and this is gonna press down on your tire. And this is gonna hold that tire down right in the drop center, just like that. I keep a bead buddy on there too. This can probably replace it by holding it down that much, but again, if I have the room, I'm gonna take a bead buddy. There is a small little adventure, the Motion Pro one that Bates has, little tiny bead buddies, and they work great, and they don't take up any room, they don't weigh anything at all. For inner tubes, if you're running tube tires, the patch kits, again, I'm ashamed to say it, I don't have one yet for this bike. They're just little square rubber patch kits. In those small bottles, I'm carrying some isopropyl alcohol to clean my tube off, because if you try to mount a patch onto a dirty tube, and it might not be that dirty, but it's just a little grimy, that patch is not gonna stick. You're gonna get down the road probably about 5-10 miles, that patch is gonna work its way loose, and then you're doing the whole thing over again. So I recommend carrying just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. It also works as a bug cleaner on your helmet. So it works really well that way. Kishore was asking, if you have a tubeless tire and you get a flat like I did, just a screw in the tire, do you have to do anything when you get back home? No. If the patch is holding, we've done a couple thousand miles on a trip, guy was just fine, got back home, replaced the tire. Or yes, I pulled out that patch from that Shinko, and I have some internal patches. They look like a little rubber square with a long straight kind of needle of rubber coming off of it. It takes a bit of work, but you patch those from the inside on that tire and it is good as new. People will say don't ride a patch tire. tubeless tire. You can do it. I'm not condoning one way or the other. Your life is in your hands. Do whatever you think is best. It can be done. It can get you out of a situation at least. I've seen pictures of guys that have gashes in, say, a back tire that have done a BDR. They patched it with every single rope plug that they brought, and it was a hole in the tire and rubber cemented everywhere. And that got them to hold enough of, I think, sawdust or some dirt or brush that they stuffed into the tire along with enough air to get them out of where they were going. If I'm taking a ride with Dan Keyshore, we're going out to the New Mexico BDR, we might only bring one air pump. You don't everybody have to pack the same thing.